Hello everyone and welcome to Frozen Synapse 2 Dev Diary 3. I'm Ian Hardingham, designer and lead programmer on Frozen Synapse 2, and I'm here to waffle some more about this game. Let's go. Now everything I've been working on for the last week is still in progress and looks really broken and ugly, so I'm not actually going to show you that. It's exciting things to do with pavements and road textures in single player city missions. So I was racking my brain and I've decided just to play another one turn, which we talked about last week, and I'm just going to go through my thought process while playing it. So that could be interesting or it could be really boring. We will at least get to see a couple of new units in play. So let's go with that. So this is the one turn that I've decided to play. Robin has apparently played this a few times, so I should have a few opposing plays to go against. I don't know if that's going to work very well. We'll see. I was interested to play this one because it actually has quite a smattering of new units. Let's look at what's going on. Now this is the sitting ducks mode, which you may remember means that each side has 3 civilians, which I'm pointing out with my mouse cursor right now, and these civilians can't move. The objective of the game is to kill your opponent's civilians and to protect your own. Your score at the end of the one turn, in this one turn, is how many civilians you've killed of the red guys minus how many green civilians have died. So if I kill 2 of his and he kills 1 of mine, my score is 1. Now what we've got in this mission, which is fairly interesting, we actually have 2 new units. We have the smoke grenade unit, probably my favourite new unit. We also have the flamethrower, which is of a similar type to the minigun unit. Basically it creates a area of effect which anyone going into will die. It's a sort of a different kind of effect to anything we've seen before. It lasts quite a long time and it allows you to really close off an area. It's actually a pretty exciting unit to use. It's really nice mechanically. Now the smoke grenade unit creates an area where people cannot shoot through. Just going to pause that there. So you see we have a nice little circle-ish thing which conforms to the terrain, and basically people cannot see through that area. It's a pretty great unit in any game mode actually, but certainly in a game mode like Secure or Disputed, or indeed this one where you're trying to defend units, it's pretty powerful. We also have a little guest appearance from our old friend, the Riot Shield unit, the unit that came with the Frozen Synapse expansion Red. That's actually a pretty cool unit. I haven't actually used it very much recently, so let's see how we do with this strange band of people. Let's take a look into what my thought process is as I'm about to tackle this game against the fiendish mastermind of Bin. So, you know, as usual, random generation throws up some interesting quirks. I really like how these very small randomly generated levels look in the FS2 engine, actually. Just patting myself on the back there. We see the green guy has 2 of his civilians in a really readily defendable spot, and 1 guy in a really readily undefendable spot. So this has already given the green side a pretty huge advantage. If you were playing this just standardly competitively, people would say this is unfair. But this being one turns, it really doesn't matter too much who has a particular advantage, because everything to do with the scoring is completely relative. If you and 20 other people are going to play as green on this one turn, and even if those 2 civilians are completely invulnerable, which is not the case here, I mean they're pretty easy to defend, but we'll see what's going to happen. But even if they never died, the whole point is that your score is going to be against all of the other people playing the exact same situation. So it's going to be how you do in terms of getting to your opponent's civilians and protecting this one guy. And that's really the beauty of the scoring. I've said many times in interviews to do a Frozen Synapse 1 that totally balanced games are boring. You want to have some situations where you start off and you're in a really difficult situation, and you want to see what you can do when you're in a really dominating situation. And it gives a game so much more range if it's allowed to produce sort of unbalanced things like this. Single player is, single player in games is generally given a lot more leeway to produce things which are particularly hard or particularly easy, and to play with that. In multiplayer, people tend to think you have to be balanced, and if you have an interesting scoring system like this, you don't have to be. Of course, the other modes in Frozen Synapse that include bidding have another way of dealing with that, because given a situation, you're bidding on how well you think you can do. So there, I've waffled quite at length about the generator. Maybe I should start working out what I'm going to do. So I really only have just loaded up this mission, so I haven't done any pre-thinking. So let's see where my brain goes. As I've mentioned, these two guys are in a pretty commanding position. It's going to be important to try and keep protection of those. There's going to be 10 seconds for the enemy to try and get to them. Now, all of the non-bullet based units, like the smoke grenade launcher and rocket launcher and the flamethrower, can only fire once during a one turn. That's something we do. So I don't have the opportunity to throw a gas grenade over here and, for instance, down there. Not that I'm necessarily particularly sure I'd want to. One of the most obvious things it seems like I would want to do is chuck a gas grenade up there, so that this fella is unable to take out my third guy. Now that timing on that just about works. With the focus aim, he was going to be able to kill him pretty quickly, I think. Let's just see how fast he can get a shot off if I do not have the gas grenade up there. It doesn't look like I've got the focus aim put correctly, but actually it may be that focus aim is not going to work in this system for some reason I'll have to look into. So let's just ignore that for now. It may not work on a civilian in this case. Anyway, I think chucking a smoke grenade up there is a pretty strong concept. Now, now red really is quite pinned down here. I've got the ability to move. Now let's have a look at where this red guy can see, because he's obviously going to have a commanding position. Looks like I cannot actually see through. Well, if he's very... Let's see how that goes. I don't know if he even actually sees him there, but he certainly doesn't see him for long enough to shoot him anyway. So the green machine gunner is not at risk from this machine gunner at all. Now let's find out if he's but he's certainly at risk from that. So I would possibly say that's a fairly obvious move from my flamethrower. He's able to completely block off that region for a period of time. Unfortunately, that's going to rather... Now, I wonder if the flamethrower has time to get through here. Would dearly like to be able to kill two of these guys. Okay. So we can actually get him... Of course, I'm not playing as red. I have to remind myself for this, but with Frozen Synapse, you always have to play as both sides. So, I think we can probably get through there now. Now, of course, the question is, do I think that's what Bin's going to do? Because if I think that's what Bin's going to do, I need to do that. Now this, I think, is we're getting down to one of the nice bits in FS where, you know, in some ways, even though there are so many different things that all of your units can do, there's kind of a limited number of sensible things Red can do here. So by both analysing the playfield, you're really getting an idea of the kind of decisions that it just comes down to really a couple of yes-no decisions. So in terms of creating an intelligent play for Red, which is always how you're going to make the best green plays. If you can work out what red has to do, then you know, do I think this is by far the most sensible thing? Is this what Robin is going to have done? And if so, I should start off by doing this. And I like that. I'm going to try doing that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to wait for a little while there. A lovely wait order, which we're still ironing out the cracks of still ironing out the cracks of the interface for the new wait order. But of course I've blocked myself with the smoke grenade launcher. But now I'm doing interesting. So I don't think that's going to work. So I'm actually going to... Does the smoke grenade run out of steam before the end of the turn? Let's have a look to wait for it to go. Yes, it... Okay, so if we just get him in range of the civilian, hopefully he will kill the civilian when the smoke grenade clears at the near the end of the turn. And he does. Just kind of interested to know whether... I possibly need to add some stuff to the focus aim so I can make sure that it works with smoke grenade units, because he should really get a focus kill now when he sees this guy. And it doesn't look like he is, so looks like I've got a bit of bug fixing to do on the focus aim. But let's get this turn done before all you guys want to actually just go to sleep. So now I believe it's still the case that the shield unit does not apparently have a weapon right now. You see how well I know my game? It's been a long year. Yeah, because someone's going to want to come around here. I'm gonna be relatively conservative here, and I'm gonna leave this guy just defending the civilians. We'll see how that goes. Even though I could bring him round to try and kill this civilian here. Maybe this guy should spend his time. Right, I'm gonna see if I can have the best of both worlds here. I'm gonna cancel move aim here. I'm gonna come around here. And I'm gonna try and kill this guy. Once I've done that, I'm gonna come back to kill this guy. Do I have time to do that? If this guy did not do that, would I have time to do that? No, does not look like I am seeing my opponent here. And of course now with move and shoot, I need to wait if I want to be sure of killing the civilian, or I need to use a pause if engaged order. That's fine, that's just about good enough though. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna... I think it's too important to try and protect these civilians down here. So I'm pretty close to locking this in. Now, there's nothing else I can do with smoke grenade launcher. He's completely useless after he's thrown his smoke grenade. So, and because I don't lose any points for him dying, I don't actually really mind if he dies. But having said that, I've just realised that he's a good decoy. So how about we put him directly into the line of fire of that civilian, but probably not directly into the line of fire of that piece of smoke grenade. Keep trying to wait using that. Let's wait for long enough. Now, of course, Robin may, or my general opponents may do nothing of the sort with their flamethrower. They may have thought of something much cleverer to do than me. You know, it's always a bit dangerous to just take a really specific opponent play and assume that's what's going to happen. but it's also how you get the most stylish wins. And I feel like I know Robin's brain, so I'm going to commit this crazy play and see what happens. Okay, after all that, I'm quite excited to see what's happened. Now, the first opponent play that's been loaded up is Cam, who I can confirm is one of Bin's weird alter egos. Let's see what happens. Okay, just so you know, the reason this guy isn't dying is it's not actually in line of sight of the flamethrower. We haven't got the flamethrower conforming to the terrain yet, so don't get too upset about that. However, everything else is very upsetting. Looks like Robin managed to get my guy just before he got out of range, which, given that that's what I predicted he was going to do, is really, really difficult. He's also fired it 3 different times, which he's not supposed to be able to do. So welcome to games development, kids. He didn't even try and do anything more exciting than that, which is even more disappointing. This little guy is guarding up there, which seems almost pointless to me. I don't know why he just doesn't go down there and guard him straight away. I don't think Bin was paying much attention when he did this one. This guy, yeah, he's guarding there, that's fine. Really, if I just brought my guy up to shoot there, I would have at least got a kill, rather than this being the dead 0 score that it is. So let's see if there's another play that Robin has done, and if so, what happened? Okay, now this one is against Paul, apparently, which is a truly terrifying concept. Let's see if Paul knows how to play this game. Okay, that was a lot more exciting. Well done, Paul. Excellent work. He doesn't go for what I thought was the obvious flamethrower play. In fact, just using the flamethrower as a distraction, unless he forgot how to fire it, which is definitely possible. As you can see, you have to get pretty close inside smoke to get a kill. That really is pretty close, but he does get that kill. Luckily, I had my guy down defending here, otherwise these two might have been in trouble. This ends up being a 0 as well, but a much more interesting 0 as we lost one on either side. Well done, Paul. Okay, and now we do get to Bin's actual play. Will this be more exciting than Bin's alter egos play? Let's go. That was more exciting. Let's watch it again. So I get his flamethrower exactly right, which is very, very edifying to me. My guy gets through to kill his guy down there, which is excellent. And then I'm not quite sure what good his shield unit was doing. Looks like he forgot to wait or something. But there you go. I think that was a really entertaining one turn to watch. I definitely think that showed a lot of the advantage of the system, along with showing some of the new units. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for listening to me waffle for this long. And I'll see you on the next Dev Diary.